We just want education freedom. Education freedom.
I can see that.
Incremental greetings. Welcome to N School Celebrity Podcast, episode 13. And today we have the pleasure to have with us Winston once again.
Hello.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Hi. Yeah,
You were
it's good to be here again.
you were here last November in the episode number 10, if I recall.
Oh, November.
Yeah, November. Yeah, time flies, right?
Oh, well, it's a long time ago. Feels like.
Yeah. So today, what we want to speak about is perfectionism.
Yes.
Exactly. We agreed on that some long time ago. So the first question I have is, what is your definition of perfectionism?
Well, it's like the strive to be perfect.
We just want education freedom. Education freedom.
You don't really have like a very clear picture of it. I think this kind of differs from people to people. This perfectionism thing.
Yeah. And do you think it's a habit? It is a personality trait?
I think it's a habit. Yeah, definitely. For me, it's more like, say, when I use Super Memo, I would constantly be fixing the styles, the uppercase or lowercase letters, and the line breaks, or whether or not should I have a period or something. The last period thing, like the after after a sentence. I mean.
Could you describe briefly what Super Memo is to the audience?
It's a software. It's a software with an algorithm, with a learning algorithm, so to speak, so it can aid you to remember, I suppose.
Okay. So that software was triggering your perfectionism, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's perfection, and you just sort of remind me that perfectionism is kind of a hard thing to define. For example, you have perfectionism tendencies when you were using Anki now.
Yeah, that's a good point because, for instance, the perfectionism for one person would be very different from a second person, right? Or you
Yeah, exactly.
or yourself. So for instance, your perfectionism won't match mine, let's say, because of the point. I don't care about the dots or the commas or something like that.
Yeah.
But I will care more about the colors and this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And for some people, it's like the process has to be perfect. For example, they have to have it's kind of hard to make an example, but they have to have like the perfect item formulation. For example, they have to not make any mistakes during the way. It's not like they can fix it after. So for some people, they would feel okay to be fixing the items after, but some people, they have to be like every step of the way it have to be perfect. If it's not, they would like deleting the items. I'm not sure. I'm just making this up because I used to have this other problem when I was playing a video game called Minecraft. I would like, I need every step of the way to be perfect, not just the outcome. So that's true. It differs a lot from people.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's not just that you want the outcome, the end product to be perfect, but all the process to getting this is you want also to be perfect,
Yeah.
flawless every step. And do you experience perfectionism, for instance, at home when you are cleaning, cooking, and any mundane task?
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know. I really have too much perfectionism tendencies outside of computers. That is, yeah, that's why I said it's like, okay. So when I was playing games, I sort of have problems with like the layout of my keyboard, like physically. Also my controllers have to be put in a way, and my just everything in my room. But sort of other things I don't really care, and I also used to have like problems with my software settings and all the other stuff. It has to be in a way. Yeah, that sounds really OCD like that. That is because it is probably OCD. I mean, OCD is like a stronger form of perfectionism, no?
Okay. Did you have you spoken with a therapist or one specialist on that?
No, not really. We don't have a lot of good therapists in our country, but frankly,
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
now that you mentioned this, I think I didn't introduce you. I just thought that you were back. So that's Winston.
Sorry?
Yeah,
What?
that I didn't introduce you in that
Oh.
episode. That you're Winston
Yeah.
from China.
Yeah.
We have
From China,
taken.
yeah.
Yeah, look at that. This episode is not perfect already. Yeah,
Well,
because
in terms of that, you don't even have a good definition of a perfect episode. I mean, what even is a perfect episode?
oh, such so good. That's key because what is the concept of a perfect episode, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a definition of perfection, you cannot compare. Oh, this episode differs from perfection because has this and that, or is missing this and that. But where's the definition of perfect? Such a good example. Now, my golden question is: have you ever been like this? Yeah, have you ever been a perfectionist, or you acquired this during the school or during the life?
No, I don't think I've always been like this. I think my OCD was like the strongest when I was actually playing Minecraft. Really, it was after school. This is really like fuzzy for me because it's really, really, really difficult to pin down the exact origin point of my perfectionism. It is probably from the times that I had as a kid practicing flute. So I was like very severely instructed, so to speak, to practice in a way, and that might be forming my perfectionism tendencies. That I'm really, really not sure. This is at this point, I think it really doesn't help that much to pin down the origins.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned the flute, the instrument.
Yeah, the Chinese flute,
The Chinese flute. Okay.
the Chinese one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the specifics. How it differs from the Western flute.
Oh, it's made from bamboo.
Okay. So it's a difficult instrument to play.
Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, everybody has the definition of difficult, but it was easy for me, I think.
Okay. And may I ask why you start playing the flute? Because you wanted to? One assignment?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think as a kid I got interested, but along the way I wasn't that the interest isn't lasting all the way. Now that I stopped playing for I don't know, more than 7 or 8 years, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason I stopped playing is basically just people around me, including my parents and teachers, were just telling me you cannot stop because you have invested way too much time and energy on this. Yeah.
Or the sunk cost fallacy, right?
Yes, exactly. The sunk cost fallacy. I know that after like learning economics, but yeah, I don't think they know that.
Yeah. So now that you invested so much time or pain, I don't know, or hours of sleep and so on, you don't want to give up. You want to continue. That is more or less what sunk cost fallacy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. For speaking for the audience, because I don't want to take for granted anything. Okay. And then you just told me that both your parents and your teachers wanted to avoid you giving up the flute, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but
But I mean, they failed like miserably because the moment that I stopped playing flute, I literally just didn't pick it up for a very very long time until now. I mean, I didn't pick it up. I didn't resume practicing at all. I mean, I I play another instrument, the piano, but the piano is purely interesting. I used to have a teacher, but then I know how to practice on my own, so I stopped seeing the teacher. But the thing is, I still play piano from time to time. I really enjoy it, unlike the flute. I really have a like toxic memory of flute, you know.
uh-huh. So you have toxic memories of the flute, even if 70 years passed already?
Yeah.
Okay. And your parents and teachers wanted to keep you going, right? But what they told you? It's good for you, or what did they say to you?
It's just I really couldn't give up because I have so much time invested, really. That's it.
Okay. It's not because you're not good enough or this kind of thing. It doesn't go. It doesn't go that way.
No, I
right?
was really good. I was really, really good at the thing.
Oh, you were really good at it.
Yeah.
So it become toxic because yourself, you were imposing yourself this perfectionism. No, not the teachers or your parents. It was yourself that I want to be perfect. Playing
Not
to
sure. This is really difficult to pin down.
Okay, gotcha.
Like I said, this is really fuzzy. Then again, I mean, frankly, this is pretty much all I can remember. So I know this is kind of a really short summary of a really long time of playing flute. I mean, I played the flute for like 7 years. Oh, by the way, something funny is there's this this sound. You need to know that to play the flute. I wasn't able to do that for the first 6 years.
Oh yeah, you mean
Yeah.
perhaps I'm wrong. Is that dark L and R?
Yeah, the trail are like in
Trail.
Spanish arroz or something like that.
Exactly. That usually, in your case, that you are a native Chinese speaker.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
It's really difficult because there's nothing close to that in your language.
Yeah, yeah,
The rrr,
yeah.
rrr.
Yes.
And you need this
I
sound.
just don't know how you Europeans are pronouncing this so easy. It took me 6 years as a kid, and yeah, I don't know. I gotta thank to the flute that I'm able to produce this sound.
Oh wow, I will research on that. I had no idea that the flute could be a good source for practice this sound. But is this it is only for the Chinese flute or any flute?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
But it is like a technique that you need to know to be able to play some of the pieces for Chinese flute anyway.
Oh wow. So
Yeah, just a little anecdote. Yeah.
little anecdote. So you needed 6 years of playing the flute.
Yes. For the first 6 years, I couldn't produce this sound.
And did that created like some sort of negative thoughts that I cannot play
Some
this.
frustration.
Yeah, I was looking for this word. Some frustration that man, I cannot do this kind of sound on this instrument.
Yeah, a little bit, because my teacher was doing it so easy.
And may I ask, going a little back on the start of the episode, do you have always considered perfectionism a good habit or a bad habit?
No, I don't think being perfect is a good habit at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, like, do you know the Japanese have the idea of wabi-sabi? That's basically just perfect imperfection. I don't know, really. Perfect imperfection. Or is it perfectly imperfect? Yeah, that's the...
Perfectly
that's the expression,
imperfect.
Yeah. Japanese sort of have this idea of wabi-sabi, but this is sort of the way to go. I mean, it's not like being perfect, but rather being content with how you are right now.
You mean, paraphrasing, to accept your flaws, you mean?
Yeah. Accept your flaws and accept your current state.
you said that all of this perfectionism is kind of fuzzy to backtrack, right? It's
Yeah,
not
it's
easy to
really fuzzy.
pinpoint, oh yeah, that was the time or it was the reason and so on. But it's the same.
Also, I don't think really isn't there is too much point in tracking that.
Okay.
For people who is perfectionistic or have OCD, I think all they care is how to move out of it.
Yeah, it was.
I consider, yeah, I consider myself sort of already moved out of it quite a bit because I have this deleting my whole study collection thing for every 2 months, but now I didn't delete it for over 2.5 months. So and I don't feel like to delete it. I don't have the urge. I don't have the urge like at all.
Nice.
So
You don't feel the
yeah,
words. Nice.
yeah,
I was actually getting there with my next question. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's fuzzy or pointless, as you say. There's no point on tracking and to pinpoint the step.
Because
But
frankly, the origin, I think it always is quite similar. You have some experience of trying to be perfect, and you sort of have to do that either because you have a external pressure for you to be perfect, like a test score, or you have like you have a strict parents or teacher to force you to be perfect, and that habit just sort of synced. I think a lot of people just have origins something like that.
yeah, so perhaps the theme is different. It could be playing an instrument, playing one
Yeah,
sport, studying, or
yeah,
whatever. But the source, as you mentioned, it is. I think all the sources you mentioned were external. Your strict parents, strict teachers.
yes, yes, exactly, because being perfect is not good for survival. I think I think I think I'm pretty certain to say that if you're still a hunter gatherer, being perfect in a savannah is not going to do any good. You all you need is to make yourself survive. Like so for example, if you catch a prey, you just eat it. You don't really focus on how you catch the prey, or like say if you're in a tribe and you're having some sort of I don't know, conversation or fight, or I don't know, with one of your companions. You don't really obsess with it too hard, because that's not gonna do you any good either. Or what's gonna be best for you is to move on, always to move on. So yeah, I guess my point is it's not natural, being perfect. Yeah, trying to be perfect.
So in your case, you attribute the perfectionism to both your parents and your teachers.
Not really. Please,
Okay.
please don't say that, because
Okay.
I don't want to sound like I'm blaming them. I'm pretty sure they don't know that. They don't know they are um forcing me. They probably really think it is. No, look, they don't know if they push too hard, I would give up the flu altogether. They really don't know that. I don't know that. I didn't know that at all. I mean, um, I know that sometimes, like when I get back to it, or when I was um like winning at competitions, I know I feel good. And sometimes when I play good music, I feel good as well. So which is why I keep saying it's really fuzzy and pointless to track down the origin.
Yeah. So is that your parents had good intentions
Yeah,
to get you on, to push you, right, to do things, to be perfect, and so
yeah,
on. So the
yeah.
intention was good-hearted. It's just that they have the ignorance of what is the real outcome of doing that. They think is a good thing, but reality is different.
Yeah, probably. I think you can probably put it like that. Yeah. Also, I'm not an expert. There are probably also some like genetic predispositions as well. So yeah, because it is quite related to the brain. In your brain you do have like the error detection area, and another area for detecting when the error is being cleared. I think so. Yeah, the singular cortex probably, but the thing is, people with OCD they sort of they have very strong error detecting area in their brain. So if you put their brain under an fMRI, the area would like light up intensely, but the the area is fixed area. That area is sort of not working properly or not very well. They just don't know when it's being fixed. I think it's more or less the same with perfectionism. It's so
Yeah.
yeah.
So long story short, let's see if I get this right. Is that OCD is something pathological with the brain?
Yeah.
It's not just a habit. There's something
Yeah.
pathological.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Just
And
like Parkinson and
apart,
every other. Yeah.
yeah, Alzheimer's and exactly.
Yeah.
And perfectionism is just a habit, so therefore can be undone.
It's so it's OCD really. I mean,
So it's OCD. Okay.
I mean, those behavioral therapies works really well on OCD. I mean, I sort of get out of it using some behavioral therapy myself. I mean, sort of just learn how to do it, and yeah, I do think I remember seeing somewhere that OCD patients going through behavioral therapy would have their their singular cortex less active.
Singular cortex.
Yeah.
Okay.
The oh sorry that's I think that's the error detection area, like detecting things goes wrong. So that's basically the same process with perfectionism.
Yeah, just for the audience that perhaps there's too much jargon about the brain anatomy.
Yeah. I mean I try to. I'm not an expert, and I'm pretty sure I said a lot of things wrong. But the point is, it is a problem with the brain and the brain's error detection place, error detection function, and it's not anything wrong with the person itself. It's not anything wrong with their personality. Something is messing with their brain, so to speak. And yes, behavioral therapy, no, or really, if we're just talking about perfectionism, some behavioral adjustments can be really helpful. Like be mindful. That's actually quite a good way of quelling those OCD or perfectionism idea thoughts. Is just be mindful of their actions are not rational, because a lot of people when they're trying to perfect something, or they have the urge, the brain is sort of being hijacked. So I think a lot of OCD patients would describe their brain as having two parts, and sort of one part is saying, oh, you shouldn't be perfect, the other part is saying, no, that has to be perfect.
Have the devil and an angel at every side
Yeah.
of the
Sort
shoulder.
of, yeah.
Yeah, be perfect, be perfect. Oh, you cannot be perfect. So you have
Yeah.
both sides of the coin, and you have to choose. Yeah.
Yes, in this case, your prefrontal cortex and the anterior singular cortex, basically just your rational part of the brain and the error detection part of the brain.
Yeah. So let's say that you create one cognitive dissonance, right? You have
that's true.
Exactly. So just to throw more jargon on the episode, cognitive dissonance. I really like this word, this expression.
Yeah, it's not really jargon. I think it's really clear what it means.
By the way, I have one video on that. It will be linked on the description if you want to check it out. About cognitive dissonance, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you already answered one question that I had is how you approach to get rid of the habit of perfectionism. And you said
Yeah.
behavioral therapy
Yeah.
and be mindful. And you said that you did this yourself. So you didn't hire a therapist.
Yeah.
You applied the therapy on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you do? You read books on that?
Um. Okay. So first thing I have to say, this is really different um for different habit of being perfect. So for example, if you have perfectionism about 10 tendencies about your Anki or super memo cards, this is dealt in one way. And if you have a perfectionism tendency, like I don't know, cleaning your room, it's another way of dealing it, I think, at least. But I think the common theme of doing it is definitely first is being mindful, is trying. So first, at least you need to try to be rational about your action. You gotta first think this through. You can take a pause. You can think about it for a second. And for me, the second is really easy. Just go do more sports. Really, just like, for example, if you have a really bad feeling about your current articles, like the formatting at hand, you can just stop and I don't know, go for a run for like 5 minutes, and maybe when you come back, you would have a very different feeling about the article. You know?
Nice. So you stop the action and you're just telling to yourself, hey,
Yeah.
this is irrational. Is my perfectionism being triggered? So
Yes.
you
Yes.
pause, you go for a run or for a walk, even if it's just
And go
five
back. Yeah.
minutes, and then with a fresh
Yeah.
mind, perhaps the decision will be different.
Yes. Yes. And basically, what I did is, if when I go back, I still have the tendencies, and I'm fine. I'm just completing it anyway. But if I don't, that's very good. Also, I think, well, just because of, I think most listeners would be Anki or Supermemo users. Like, if you really have the problem, just delete the card. Just delete it. You can always add it back like later. You know that's basically how I was able to stop deleting my collection. It's like I started to delete cards like on the first day because when I add it and I don't like it, I can just delete it. I no longer sort of have to force myself through it or force myself to perfect it because I used to think, well, there is the priority queue, there is all the other tools to counter the imperfection of cards, but sometimes some knowledge just aren't supposed or really aren't worth it to remember.
So what you learn is to delete right away.
Yes, learn to delete, learn when to delete. Everybody have a different heuristic for deleting stuff.
Oh wow, it's so incredible because we are not following any script. And
Yeah.
what happens is that I have exactly one video on this topic that
Oh,
will be released today in some hours from now. Yeah,
nice.
pure.
Deleting what, heuristics on deleting cards, you mean?
Yeah, when it's good to actually delete items, stuff from
Oh,
your
nice.
collection. Yeah,
Nice.
just so. What a big coincidence! Oh my god. Yeah,
Lovely.
I can take on that because it's like if you're in a room and let's say that you are accumulating clothing and leftovers of what you eat and so on, you are
Mm-hmm.
polluting your room of trash, right? So what will happen? I'm making a metaphor. So what
Yeah.
will happen eventually is that, oh, this room is so smelly, it's so nasty. I don't want to be in
Mm-hmm.
this room, right? And you quit
Yeah.
the room. You cannot tolerate
Yeah.
this anymore.
Oh,
That will be the
nice.
words. But if you
Yeah.
every day or at every occasion is, oh, you know what? This sweater is smelly. Let me take it out to the washing machine and so on, right? To the laundry. Oh, I have eaten this. There's leftovers of what I have eaten. perhaps I won't clean it now, perhaps in some hours, but eventually I will do it. So I just take one action, one little action, one small detail. But what happens is that my room would be somewhat clean. It won't be perfectly clean, but it will be clean enough. So I won't have triggers to quit my room because it's so nasty.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfect analogy for study collections. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a perfect analogy, and on top of that, it's a true story for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
the room? What?
In the past, yeah. I reached, well, just an intermission because the episode is for you. I reached a point that all the floor was crowded with clothing. So I could no longer open the door. Yeah. And it was so smelly, but what happens that eventually you get used to it, to the odor, right? Because it's your own sweat and so on. And what happens is that then you have a breaking point. Is, oh wow, I cannot tolerate this. I cannot tolerate this anymore. It's like a reset, and that you have this trigger, and eventually one day I spend hours and hours cleaning the room like there's no tomorrow. Ba 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 ba. And then I will repeat.
Yeah.
Eventually, I will repeat the same process because I'm accumulating,
Yeah.
accumulating. So it's not perfectionism in that case because I didn't want to achieve a perfectly clean room, but the process is the same. You are just adding loads and load and load that eventually it will get to your nerves and anxiety and so on, and you reach a breaking point. Is I cannot tolerate this anymore. So going back to you.
Do think there are some similarities with perfectionism. I mean, let's yeah, let's first talk about this collection deleting us thing. And okay, so say if you're adding items, you're adding cards to your Ankyor Supermo collection, and you keep doing it, and okay, so first of all, I want to sort of say that spaced repetition is really not natural. Okay, in a sense that it's not how like people are designed to learn. But so this is really crucial that you gotta make it as natural as possible because it is still the most like most powerful learning tool ever. But okay, so why I'm saying it's not natural? In essentially, what you remember in your life, or since we're talking about natural, if you're a hunter gatherer, what you remember is always something that happens repeatedly in your life. And also, so if you're a hunter gatherer, you keep seeing this animal, you sort of hunt it down for several times. You learn its habits. You learn how to capture it. You learn how like not to be captured by something. This is keep happening in your life, and every time it's sort of a little bit different, but it is keep happening. So you have sort of the idea of that it is important, and your brain would unconsciously remember it. But spaced repetition doesn't really do that. Every time it presents you, like for example, a question and answer, it's always the same. So how to make it more natural, more sort of like your actual learning process, but still use it as like the most powerful learning tool? My answer is really just to delete stuff. To delete stuff that is no longer relevant to your life. I used to be like adding a bunch of like Latin cards, but it turns out those words doesn't help me at all. Like I later find out what words would be helping me is some of the most scientific terms that are Latin or Greek roots, and I don't know those roots very well. And adding those cards would be helping me, but those I find out after like several times of repetition. So yeah, deleting cards is helpful in this sense.
Yeah, sometimes actually deleting the cat is the best outcome.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, you no longer need that information, so it becomes noise and load, unnecessary load on your memory. I absolutely agree with
So yeah, quoting Piotr Wozniak, I wouldn't. Okay, he's saying something like you don't really need Superman. What you need is repetition. If life provides you with repetition, then you don't really need super memo. So I think the opposite, the sort of opposite work is if you're gonna need super memo a lot, you gotta make sure the repetition is sort of like the repetitions you get in your life. Sort of like. So in life, the repetitions you get is like always the stuff that is most important or relevant to your life or work or maybe other people keeps talking about it. You're gonna make it at least somewhat like your life, your collection. At least in free learning. I think that's very important to mention because in order to prepare for a school exam, it's a completely different idea. So yeah, what I was talking about, that's totally for free learning.
Yeah, exactly. Changes a lot with trying to cram for
Yeah,
school. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
And just the last input for me is about this. When you say speed repetition is artificial, it's because sometimes you want to remember something, but your life doesn't guarantee much repetition. It's not that common. So what you do is you put that on a speed repetition. So you artificially say repetitions. It won't happen in your life, but it will happen, I don't know, once every 3 years, let's say, very scarcely. So you use one software that will create some repetitions for you, scheduled in time, so you can guarantee you have some exposure, repeated exposure, so you will be able to remember it. That doesn't mean that just because you can do it, you have to do it. And I'm especially guilty of that. That I memorized thousands of facts that I never applied to my life. But that deserves a standalone
Yes,
episode.
that is definitely true. I also want to say that this is also sort of a very good practice to think. Okay, so you have this card in your collection. Why do you add it? How is it relevant? I sort of sometimes do that, but I only do that when I thought of it. It's not really something you should like always do. But today I did like when I see a card, it's like, okay, what's the ancient Greek word for cheese? That sound that sort of looks kind of not really related to real life, but I actually was able to track how I thought of doing this card. So the ancient Greek word for cheese is gyros. That's related to tyrosine. That's an amino acid that's related to dopamine, I think. So I was reading Steve Jobs has the diet of raw carrot and apples. Both are high in tyrosine, so that's related to dopamine, or I think it's the precursor probably to dopamine. So that's probably why he's so creative. So you see, I think this is some sort of really satisfying feeling that you see a standalone card of, oh, what's the ancient Greek word for this, but then you are actually able to retrace the steps of your thoughts. Yeah, that's really satisfying for me.
Yeah, satisfying, and I will add pleasurable.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, when you said that you deleted collections altogether, right?
Yeah.
When you had
Several times.
when you had these urge that it's too imperfect, I cannot tolerate this, therefore I deleted everything, wipe out. Then did you experience any regret? Like, oh wow, now I want to undo, I want to recover that collection.
Sometimes, yeah. But okay, so the the single reason I deleted is that just the idea of those are still surviving in my collection is really, really not comfortable, really not pleasant for me. So, because every time I see those cards, I would be remembering the process of perfecting it. That's like that's why I delete my collection, and that's why don't really thought of having those back. But actually, now that you ask this question, now that I'm fine, you know, 2.5 months ago when I deleted my collection, I'm totally not. I'm totally not fine. I'm, with staying with those cards. Now that I think of it, if I add those back, I'm fine because all I care now is really the knowledge itself. Like I during all those times of deleting and finding new ways to study, I really sort of getting to the point that I learn because I want to know the knowledge. I don't want to have the perfect collection to show it to the world,
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely the point. Is you deleted collections that you cannot undo, you cannot recover, and this was like you regret this. But then later on, when you get rid of this bad habit of perfectionism, now you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care at
I
all.
don't care.
So then you don't have an issue. First, you are not creating new issues, but on top of that,
Yeah.
you are liberating yourself of the mental load you had for the past actions that you cannot undo. So it's a win-win situation in both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, and may I ask, yeah, when you started the therapy on yourself to be mindful,
Yeah.
to stop and then go for a run 5 minutes and then decide and so on, how long you needed more or less? So it was something very long term.
Like a week.
Ah, a week?
Yeah, like a week. It is already like before I really had to stop a lot of times and try to find some ways of exercising, whether it's like jumping ropes or I don't know if that's called or some sort of other just jumps basically. just any exercise that would raise my heart rate.
Uh-huh.
But okay, so like I remember after just a week, those urges are really like I really have those very horrible urges to perfecting stuff. So yeah, that's really working fast, I would say.
Wow, so just in a week you notice a difference on those urges.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite fast.
Yeah. Those are still there, those urges. It's just really something so little I can basically just ignore it. And I was actually able to ignore it. Before when I was trying to ignore it, that would always like beat me and I have to go back and perfect stuff.
Okay, that's good to know. It's not that you get rid of those urges. It's
Yeah.
that the intensity have decreased significantly, has dropped
Yes.
a lot. And therefore, just with your own reason and will, it's easy to overcome this urge now.
Yeah.
Because it's weak. It's like, oh,
Yes.
I want to eat chocolate, let's say. No, it's easy to remove this thought, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you eat chocolate?
Oh, it's one example. Usually it's sweets, or you can change this with beer, pizza, whatever you want.
Do you eat sweet stuff? Sugar and stuff?
Not often. I usually don't have chocolate at home.
Ah.
That's something rare. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just thought of that like over a year ago. I stopped all sugar and carbohydrate altogether. It's something. The process is somewhat similar. Yeah, it basically just replacing this urge to exercise or maybe other stuff.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned these, when you were applying the therapy on yourself, you said you were exercising, but
Yeah.
Have you changed your diet, for instance, or have you made any other change as a consequence, as a side effect?
Oh yeah, that is true. Diet is also very important. So basically, you don't eat anything that would raise your blood sugar too much. Just those low glycemic index stuff.
A low glycemic index, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, meat.
I,
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming you're following Chinese cuisine, right? In
No, not
no,
really.
okay,
No, frankly, I hate Chinese cuisine.
okay, good to
Too
know.
much, way too much vegetable oils. I just hate vegetable oils so bad. Um, I would pretty much vomit when I had pretty bad vegetable oil stuff. I
Okay,
mean, I pretty much forced my mother to stop cooking olive oil because you, you know those are really bad when you cook olive oils.
yeah,
You heat up. Yeah.
I know that Chinese cuisine is usually fried. They fry a lot.
Yeah,
So the
and
noodles are fried.
corn oil and stuff.
Then more or less what changes have you done on your diet when you were being mindful?
Um. Okay, that's kind of related. I'm not really sure, but during all those time, I did sort of shifted my diet to those that hardly raise my blood sugar levels. So I changed to basically an all meat diet. I basically converted to a carnivore, but I still eat some vegetables from time to time, and I cut every single carbohydrate. I stopped eating any artificial sugary stuff. That's any cake, cookies, and those sort of stuff.
You mean processed food?
Yeah, processed food,
Okay.
exactly.
So, but your goal was getting a diet that was very low in
Mm,
glycemic index, right? That do not have spikes, peaks on your blood sugar.
Frankly, I shifted unconsciously. I just happened to sort of shifted to a diet. Okay, so basically, I think in in a more or less free environment when you don't have a lot of stress, you don't need food as a source of pleasure. I would say, some people like would go on binge eating because they're stressed out, or they
Yeah.
have too much pressure and I don't know, school stuff and so on. But I although I'm still in school, I don't have too much pressure. I don't really care about school stuff, and I just happen to naturally notice that highly processed food with a lot of sugar makes me feel extremely bad afterwards. I cannot think clearly. I have those terrible headaches.
Because of
And
the huge amount of sugar you intake in a
yeah,
brief period of time.
yeah. I just happened to notice that. When I was relatively free. I think that's the key point. I think everybody would just naturally notice some of the processed food are really bad for you. If they have the not stressed environment, they would just naturally shift.
Yeah, so I can tell that because sometimes when I have a family dinner,
Oh,
I plan to nap right after that because I will be so sleepy and unproductive because of the so much oil on the food and so on. And then may I ask, then before that, when you were in high stress environment and so on, you were eating sugar just because you will feel better as a consequence, even if it's short term?
I wouldn't say it is really making me feel better, but I would definitely not notice the bad effect that come afterwards.
Okay, when you
You,
drop it,
you know,
exactly.
And like I wouldn't say like I was eating it because I consciously know it's making me feel better, but I definitely did not notice any of the downsides that come afterwards, like making you really tired and making your brain working slow, like sort of inhibiting your rational thoughts, and makes the next night's sleep just really bad. you know, all those downsides are really difficult to notice if you're on a high stress environment.
Exactly, because you have different factors altogether. So
Yeah,
it's a lot,
yeah,
super
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to distinguish what is causing what. Okay, and
Yeah.
one kind of pan question is: do you consider your diet to be perfect for you?
Uh, I don't think it's possible. Okay, so like human beings have eaten what they got, like always, since always. It's relatively recent that we can sort of have way too many choice of what we have, but I think just eat natural food for a while, and you would naturally um have a preference that preference will just happen to be healthy. Um, okay, so there's a guy I know that he recently started to crave butter. Um, and he also has this problem of seeing sort of he also have problem seeing at night. So that is related to vitamin A deficiency, and butter just happen to have a lot of vitamin A. So I think that's something you would naturally crave the food that you need if the food is natural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, for instance, for pregnant women, if they are missing some vitamins, they are craving that food that is very rich on that.
yeah,
Um, exactly,
yeah.
it's the same case.
Okay, so there was this experiment on 1920s, like over a hundred, no, just
Years.
100 years ago,
Yeah.
and there's just a bunch of kids, and they would put a variety of natural food in front of them and let the kid choose themselves.
Uh huh.
And the kid turned out to be very healthy. And one of the kid has rickets. He naturally choose he just voluntarily choose the cod liver oil, which is high in vitamin D, which would cure rickets for 101 days, and that just cured his ricket.
What is ricket?
Okay, so just something with your bone formation because of vitamin D deficiency, and the kid just happens to voluntarily choose food that is high in vitamin D. So yeah, I'm just saying, humans have this wonderful capability of choosing their food, and that just happens to be perfect in a sense.
Yeah, but as you said, this only happens when they have freedom to choose,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. We have we have very very good heuristics on a lot of stuff, on the food we eat, on the human beings that we interact with, on the stuff that we learn. But that only happens if we have free environment.
Yeah, exactly. So, as you said, just paraphrasing,
Yeah.
that we humans have heuristics. Heuristics are not perfect because we want a quick decision, not a perfect decision. But
Yes.
it's good
Yes.
enough. But what happens is that when humans are not in conditions of freedom, they cannot make those choices. Is when bad habits kicks in on that person, being perfectionism, being just bad uh, choices on food, and so on and so on. So just leaving
Yeah.
that person free, it's enough.
Yes.
Exactly. It won't be perfect. There will be mistakes, yes, but it will be good enough. No, no, there's no reason to worry about that.
Also, I think another very important would be it has to be at least somewhat natural. So cocaine is not natural, heroin is not natural, so is fried food. So is those fast foods. Those are all things that are also sugar. Those high concentrations of sugars are really addictive. Some people even say it's 8 times more addictive than cocaine, but I don't know. It's still in dispute. But still, those are not natural. Those are very easy to addicted, and those are practically designed to be addicted. Those fancy food
That is the
and
key. Fast food,
yes,
especially
yes,
chains of fast food. No need to say any
yeah,
brand. They are actually
yeah,
designed the food to be
yeah,
addictive because if you get addicted, you will be a recurring customer.
Yeah.
So the purpose is
So
to
it's video games. Yeah. So it's video games.
and some video games like Candy Crush, I said
Yeah.
already, but no need to say more names.
Yeah,
than
whatever,
that.
whatever. You can say
Yeah.
names. There is even a goddamn website on healthy games and unhealthy games. Do you know that?
Oh, it's called like that on healthygames.com.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes, exactly.
I had no idea. Yeah, I'm not a gamer anymore, so
Yeah.
then what?
This.
Yeah, going back a little with the topic.
Yeah.
One question I want to ask you is, for the people who are listening to us, and they are suffering currently for perfectionism, if they have a bad diet in the sense that they are eating to compensate anxiety, what do you recommend? To change the diet, or just to be mindful, and as a consequence they will change the diet? What will you recommend?
Okay, let me just put it this really quick. That unnatural food have natural equivalents, sort of. You know, if you really like highly sweet, really sweet food, just eat a lot of natural fat. When you get your energy up, your sugar craving and would stop. And if you have a lot of too strong sugar cravings, you just, I don't know, go take a walk when you're done eating fat, animal fat. That's for the best, I think. I'm not recommending anything here. I'm just saying it's an option. It's something you can change to more of a natural way.
Yeah, for instance, just to mention one personal example, I was addicted to sugar when I was at school, high school, and so on, right? Because I had lots of toxic memories, anxiety, depression, and so on. So what I did is I was drinking soda as it was water, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad, but it's a rabbit hole, right? It's I drink this. I drink this soda because it has lots of sugar, so I will mask my anxiety. Let's say I won't feel that bad, but in 2 hours or 3 hours, this effect wears off. So I want to do it again, and
you need another one.
You need another one, and then you just become physiologically addicted. Your body craves sugar, not because it needs the sugar. It's because you've had sugar all times, all day, for years, or for a very long period of time. And then if you don't do it, you have withdrawal symptoms. And since you're already stressed, you're already perhaps depressed with an anxiety, just a withdrawal symptomatology is a cocktail Molotov, right? It makes the situation even worse. So therefore, even if you think it's bad for you, you know it's bad, you keep doing it, because stop doing it is you feel it's still worse. So I think what is hard is not to get rid of this habit, is to start to get rid of this bad habit, to start to be mindful. That's the hardest, I think, the tipping point. It's very short in time, but it's extremely hard to do. Yeah, and now my question is, go ahead.
Just to follow up on that, I think some of like the easiest way to start is you don't need to exercise intensively. If you just take a walk for 10 minutes per day, that's still better than nothing. You should definitely try to exercise. It's just the benefits of exercise. Those are just numerous. I can't say them. I can't finish saying them at all. But the thing is, the key thing is, it's definitely gonna make your addiction better. It's gonna make your craving better. It's definitely going to quell a little bit, at least, of any of those urges. And exercise and talking to people, socialize is important as well.
Yeah, and especially socializing outside of where your toxic memories are.
Exactly.
So most likely it will be school or university, high school, whatever. So socialize elsewhere. And now that we have internet, many services like Discord, Reddit, and so on,
Yeah.
It's so easy to find someone. Even if, for instance, I myself, I'm alone in the sense that I don't know one in my real life that I can share this, but I can do it. I can do it online.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
exactly. I haven't had this privilege 20 years ago because I had no internet connection back then.
Yeah.
So I was alone, absolutely alone. That's why I became addicted to substances like sugar.
So, okay, don't just say substances. If you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
you're addicted to substances, people would assume it's like heroin.
yeah.
Don't say
Well,
substances.
I have more to say, but
Yeah.
not in this episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
So something you mentioned that even if you exercise very little, when you want to be mindful, and okay, let me go for a walk or just jump.
Yeah.
Even if it's very little, it is on a step
Yeah.
because I think it's called tiny habits or atomic habits. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Atomic habits, micro habits, micro rules. I don't know.
yeah, macro.
A
Yeah,
lot of ways of saying it.
yeah. There are many authors that more or less are overlapping definitions of the same. Is that you won't remove that bad habit. You won't get rid of perfectionism overnight. So one step at a time. Even if it, for instance, what I did is, for instance, the glass of water. I use one tiny glass of water because what happens that I was getting thirsty, so therefore I was getting up more often because the quantity of water was less. And you could say, oh, you were only going to the fridge, to the refrigerator, and pulling some water. Mm-hmm. That's it. What effort is that? It's just walking like 20 steps, right?
Yeah.
Well, but that's something. That's a start. I'm breaking my mental mood. I go onto the refrigerator. I come back. I have like a fresh air, even if it's just 30 seconds.
Yes.
But that's an start. Exactly. That's an start. You're breaking your linear train of thought. You're making an interruption.
Basically, you're actually just by moving for such little time, you're actually rewiring your brain. That's actually what I think, and that's actually what happened. I think neuroplasticity can definitely can happen in those definitely can happen in those short time. And I don't know. I don't know much about the science behind it, but it's like when you're focusing on something, your brain is completely like immersed in doing that. But
you mean
when you do other, yes,
tunnel vision? You mean tunnel vision? That you are so focused that everything else becomes unnoticed.
Yeah, I'm saying something like maybe your perfectionism kicked in or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you're sort of immersed in those perfectionism thoughts. But if you do other complex movement, you really need to shift your brain into the other state because frankly, we have such a big brain that is just for complex movements. Yeah, I think some. I think I heard it somewhere, but I don't exactly remember where. But just by some exercising, just by changing just by movement, you can just rewire your brain.
And what I did also is walking the dog.
Oh, that's good.
Even if it's a short walk, 10 minutes, you're making this. So you're exercising. It's just very slowly, so the effort is very light. You don't even increase your heart rate, but you are increasing the blood flow. Because we need movement. We are not meant to be in a chair 8 hours a day or longer than that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I want to mention something that I learned from one YouTube channel, the flashcard guy. That paraphrasing.
Little fish, was it?
Yeah, little fish. But the YouTube channel is called Flashcard Guy. That You just make one single step, right? That, oh, I just go to the refrigerator to get some water. It's very tiny, but I will succeed on that. So what happens that you could see every victory, every step, very tiny, very small, but every big victory is permanent.
Yeah.
That's the key. The progress may seem like slow, but it's permanent. You're not going back.
Yes. Yeah. That is really important. You once you start to take those steps, once you are actually doing the exercising, socializing, and stuff, you're moving forward. You're well. I think what's more important is trying to do it incrementally. Don't exercise too hard and stuff. But if you're doing it incrementally, yes, you are. Yeah, definitely going forward.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I haven't said that buzzword yet in this episode. Incremental.
Finally, you said incremental greetings.
Oh wow, yeah. But for me, it's just a greeting. It's not. It's idiomatic already. That incremental.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have
incremental.
to.
That's a good word.
Incrementalism is key. The only issue is that the first increment, the first step, is the hardest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are limited to just our own experience with perfectionism.
Yes.
So what happens is that I just have the advantage of time because I'm older and I suffered this. When I was your age, I was struggling with the same issue as you. So I just had more time to try to solve this myself because as you, I did it alone. Therapy on myself, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to add something I didn't ask or we haven't covered about perfectionism?
Yeah. You were saying when you were at my age, I don't think the audience know what my age is, probably, or your age. Have you said it in one of your episodes?
I don't know, but not in this episode. You are 20 what?
I'm 21, I think. Yeah, I'm 21. I'm like 13 years.
The age gap is 13 years, yeah.
Yeah. When you were at my age, you were doing Anki cards and stuff, no?
Yes, I was addicted to sugar. I had lots of bad habits, not just perfectionism.
Wow.
Yeah, school makes you fat. That's true, and usually it's related. It's related not to fat, but to sugar, actually.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's sugar that what makes you fat, not fat people.
If it's I mean fat as a dietary fat, like French fries, for instance, that they have lots of fat.
Really? Those are practically carbs, no?
No, French fries because.
Or do you mean calorie?
No, I mean the fat because all the fat comes from the oil, not from the potato.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, potato it's carbs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's carbs. Yeah.
So just to recap a little, something that I also want to phrase that is always in my mind. So I also want to say something, just slightly paraphrasing something that I usually say, is that if you want to solve perfectionism, and you have this goal, my aim is to get rid of perfectionism. What happens is that you will have this perfectionist mindset. Therefore, you will be in a loophole. You won't be you won't be able to achieve this goal because you will have the habit of being a perfectionist, right? So the first thing you need to learn is to not care at all, or in more plain language, is to not give a shit. And this may this may seem like a trivial comment, but I think it's one of the hardest things to learn. Learning not to care. Especially something that is triggering your perfectionism. Once you achieve this, it just, as you said, like your diet, it just happens because it's a consequence of your change. So you remove that bad habit, therefore you no longer have stress or anxiety. And since you don't have anxiety and so on, you will stop doing lots of other
Yeah.
things and habits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now my golden question, my $1 million question is how you learned how to not give a shit about what is triggering your perfectionism. You said it was the format of the words and cards on your software. And
I think it just comes from like one delete. When you delete, when you like really have the guts to delete one card, then you have the guts to delete another, and you have the guts to delete the third one, and you just keep going, and then you finally realize you do have the guts to delete cards that are, well, they don't really deserve to exist in your collection, and then you would have the guts to not care. Well, if you care too much, just use the exercise thingy, but then you just would incrementally realize you would have the guts to do those not perfect stuff and still be okay with it. You will have the guts if you well, first of all, if you try it, then you adjust your life to be relatively free, more exercise. I think one really easy way to explain would be exercise would activate your prefrontal cortex, so it would make you more rational.
nice, more rational, and that's what you said you need.
Yeah.
Because to be mindful is when you are aware that the action and that moment is not rational.
Yes.
This urge,
Yes.
I want to delete my collection, or I want to whatever, is not rational.
Yes.
So if you exercise a
Yes.
little, it will make this urge easier to handle.
Yes. Yes.
Because of the awareness and so on. So it's just a matter of time and repetition, iterations on that thought. And every time it becomes easier, as you said, because when you delete it once, doing it for the second time is easier than the first time.
Yes.
And this
Yes.
accumulates every time, becomes gradually, incrementally easier.
Yeah.
So therefore, how do you do the first one? What happened when you press the button and you delete for the first time in a rational thought?
Basically, it's just like just do it, just do it, something like that.
Oh,
Just, just I don't know, coerce yourself to do it.
no,
I don't really know.
I wouldn't express it that way with self-coercion.
Maybe like work yourself up to do it, or really encourage yourself to do it, or just grow a pair and do it.
Yeah. So
the expression,
no, not really.
like grow a pair of balls.
No, I'm too old for this expression. I never heard that. So I think perhaps I'm
Okay.
I'm putting my own words on you. Let me know if that's the case. That what you think is that this first action is like instinctive. It just happens that for whatever reason you feel it's now the time to do it.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Even if you cannot describe why today and not yesterday, what is the difference, right? But I also I experienced this and more than once in my life. Now I even recall, it was the 24th of May in 2020, between 2 and 3 a.m. at night. Yeah, I since it's memorable for me, I can be very specific. And I decided I was fat, I was obese back then. And I decided, you know what? I will go for a walk alone. I get my sneakers on, and it was at night at 2 a.m. at night. And it was not the safest neighborhood to walk at this time, especially alone. But I did it. It's now, for whatever reason, now I feel I have this instinct thought, let's say, that will be the first time I will override the irrational thought and go for a walk. And that is close to 12 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
So I was exactly 1 year older than you.
Oh. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So if you're listening, you are listening to us, and you are struggling with perfectionism, feel free to contact with us if you want to talk with us.
Yes.
In the description, you will find the link to the Discord channel and School Summary podcast.
Yes. I also want to say I would love to talk to anyone who's struggling with perfectionism. Yeah. I'm definitely willing to help them.
Exactly, because we are here we're not just talking about ourselves. We do this just to share our example, but the purpose is to help other people, because it will be very hard to get help in the mainstream, especially if the source problem is school. Because going back to my own experience is then your parents will send you to the psychologist, and if your school have a psychologist, you will be sent there. But they will never tell you that the source of your problem is the school. That option doesn't exist. So therefore, they will get you pills, medicine, or whatever before solving your issue. That's why in the mainstream you won't get help. Well, you will get help, but not help that will solve your problem, because the root cause is not tackled. That is schooling, coercion, and so on.
And also those helps are not natural. Those essentially are just numbing your senses to ease the pain, but you can get rid of the pain by just be free at least, or at least have the free mindset.
Yeah. So metaphorically speaking, you need pills of freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a good word.
Yeah, and here we had Raj. I think it was episode 7 or 8. That when he was in school, he had a prescription with this kind of medicine.
Oh, OCD, right?
OCD and the other, HDAD. Now I don't remember, because sometimes I confuse both. So feel free to watch Rush episode to get some insight how it is, how taking drugs when you're a kid affects your behavior, because that's not the solution. The solution is freedom. Nice. Something else you want to add or to tell the audience?
Also exercise. Exercise and socialize. Just be a human being, and don't coerce yourself. If you're under a coercive, also I might just say, if you're under a coercive environment, you can talk to me, because frankly I have pretty much been in a coercive environment for a very long time, but I still managed to find myself to find a way to do free learning, also to basically just be better, generally speaking. So if you have any sort of problems in a coercive environment, and you cannot find a good way to get around it, or really overcome it, you can find me in the Discord link below, I think, probably. And so I think really that's the key. Just try to be natural. Try to exercise more. Try to socialize more. But better yet, do it together. Talk to people while walking. That's what I'm doing right now. And every time when I'm voice chatting.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm just walking around in this playground for since the beginning.
Oh, now nice noise cancellation, because I cannot hear your steps or anything. Nice.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, it's important. Exercise and socialize.
Yeah, exactly. Free socialization. So you choose who, not just people from school or whatever. So the point is to have freedom, a free environment. But if you're not in that position, as it happened to me when I was Winston age as well. It's at least you can get a free mindset within a coercive environment. It's not the optimal solution, but according to reality, it's the best option you can get. So this podcast is so relevant that I will do a shorter version, a recap video of the golden nuggets. So if people are interested, we'll move on to this longer episode. Some final thoughts, or shall we wrap up?
Yeah, we can wrap up, I think.
Okay, so glad to have you here once again, Winston, from China, 21 years old. Now I said everything.
Yeah.
Who is not free, but has a free mindset, and is in the process, almost done, of getting rid of his perfectionism. And perhaps in the future we will have some update from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a year later we'll do another one. See if my collection is 1 year and 2 months old. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. We can try that. So a big thank you, Winston, and remember, get in touch. Join the server into Discord. And School's library. Nothing more to add today, and see you next time.
See you.
We just want education freedom.